You know, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. But smells, well, I can't even put it into words, but I'll give it a shot. Theme parks, as a complete sensory experience, use scents to enrich attractions, themed settings, and so on. Think of scent as a special effect that aligns with the story. A story Disney and other theme parks are very deliberate about. Smell authenticates environments of fantasy while igniting feelings of nostalgia and deepening the story being told. Welcome to Sensing Theme Parks, a series exploring the wonders of theme park design for the 5 human senses. This is the art of aromas in theme parks. You have probably heard before about how powerful smells can be, but let's real quick put it into perspective so we're all on the same page. Studies have claimed humans can discriminate more than 1 trillion unique scents. 1 trillion. It's remarkable. With that in mind, consider how our sense of smell is often cited as being a significant connection to memories. The way smells are stored and accessed as memories in our minds makes scent an especially special sense. That's why some folks may be fond of a whiff that reminds them of simpler times. Smells like fresh rain, a smoky campfire, or a humble pack of crayons. For me, it's the oddly specific smell of frozen cardboard, reminding me of eating popsicles on a warm summer day. Odor-evoked memory is a shared feeling we as humans all experience. A feeling so common, it even permeates its way into pop culture.
Sometimes a certain smell will take me back to when I was young.
Chandler Burr is a scent critic formerly of the New York Times, and he has described smell as being an extraordinarily powerful medium that conveys raw emotion. It's true. Scent as a medium is a subjective art form that can make an impact on our emotions and the way we perceive reality. Taking in a certain scent can influence our feelings, just like when we listen to music or look at a piece of art. Scent is just as much an art form as music or visual arts. Just as a musician mixes notes and rhythms, just as an artist mixes colors and shapes, perfumers are artists who mix exact formulas for the perfect smell. It's a highly detailed scientific process. The results create an effect that's quite literally unforgettable. And for that reason alone, smell is more important than most people give it credit for, especially in theme parks. Traditionally, stories are of course told with the common elements of characters, setting, and plot. But in a themed environment, a physical space you pass through, your surroundings also play a role in telling the story. Elements like sound and lighting are important in a themed environment, but smells can also contribute to the story. I get it, the sensation of smell might not be the most common storytelling device, but it has been used creatively for decades, well, frankly, generations. Themed smells in contemporary entertainment can be traced back over a century, as it was used for theater performances. Scent first accompanied film in 1906, and it was, for better or for worse, made more elaborate in the 1950s with the introduction of smell-o-vision, developed by General Electric. However, that somewhat crude attempt had its issues, being too loud and distracting during the feature presentation. Disappointingly, it also produced faint and delayed scents that were not synced with the film. The integration, needless to say, wasn't seamless. The idea was a good one, it just needed some fine-tuning to get it right. Disney Imagineer Bob McCarthy did just that. He patented a system famously known as the Smellitzer to be used at Walt Disney World's second gate, EPCOT Center. The Smellitzer would forever change the way we sense rides. The scent-emitting system would target synthetic smells at guests in a controlled way. This effect made rides just about a full sensory experience. Nowadays, synthetic scents are fairly common in major attractions. The effect is usually worked into the plans early in development, from the storyboards to scent testing to dialing in the exact smell and implementing it into an attraction. Scents take a long journey from concept to creation, or in this case, from notion to nose. Let's get a sense for just how important smells are in themed attractions. Now, I can't exactly show you a smell on your screen or through your headphones, but just remember back on these smells or imagine if you can. Use your mind's eye, or your mind's nose, I guess. The first example is arguably Epcot's most iconic defunct attraction, Horizons. It's basically an understatement to say this ride is fondly remembered, but it might be most well known not for an impressive animatronic, not for a jaw-dropping visual effect, but for the sublime scent of fresh oranges. I like the way a blog known as Epcot Central put it. They wrote, quote, "I smelled oranges millions of times before Horizons, and I've smelled oranges millions of times since. Yet that one moment made a memory that lasts a lifetime," unquote. The scent of oranges is so common in our world and everyday life, but among Disney fans, it's deeply connected to Epcot and the memories spent in a beloved attraction now long gone. So that was Epcot of the past, some of which still lives on in the present and future. Front and center at Epcot is the park's icon, Spaceship Earth, and an optimistic ride inside, which has an equally iconic scent. Spaceship Earth simply wouldn't be the same without the provoking, smoky scent of Rome burning. It's not only distinct, but adds another layer to the dismay of the scene as a part of the ride's purpose. The scent is instantly recognizable, and more importantly, it tells the full story to riders. How could I talk about theme park smells without mentioning the evergreen forest in E.T. Adventure over at Universal Studios Florida? That comforting scent has impressed on decades worth of visitors. The musky pine scent seeps within the dense redwood forest. The scent itself has become synonymous with the actual attraction and is a lasting remnant of classic Universal Studios, even though the smell inside the building seems to have changed a bit as of late. Still, the aroma adds to the illusion and is what many folks remember most about the attraction. Catching a waft of pine in the air is an essential part of the E.T. Adventure experience. Let's quickly rapid fire through a few more examples. In Mickey's PhilharMagic, there's certainly magic in the air during the Be Our Guest number with the smell of warm apple pie throughout the theater. At Universal, the blow of a blast-ended scroot on Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure puffs an oddly sweet scent at riders. It's a delightful, quick effect before launching through the Forbidden Forest. Epcot, the park where this all more or less started, is apparently the place to be for wonderful theme park scents. Soarin has its noteworthy and frankly innovative scents, but I really want to mention the pleasantly scrumptious bread smell on Remy's Ratatouille Adventure. When you're miniaturized to the size of a rat, shuffling underneath and around gourmet dishes, nothing quite hits like the smell of freshly baked bread. For every sense in this series, Pandora, the world of Avatar, is bound to come up. It's truly a theme park land that caters to all 5 human senses. So, let's dive in. The land's flagship attraction, Flight of Passage, very carefully uses scent to create a beautiful, emotional journey. Flight of Passage uses a technique known as scent blending. This method takes base ride scents and subtly transforms and blends them over the course of an attraction for a dynamic ride experience. It's like taking the color blue and slowly changing the shade to shift the mood. It's still blue the whole time, but it changes just enough to influence your perception. The slow process feels completely natural, not jarring or noticeably sudden. The smells on Flight of Passage progress with the story and fit the ever-developing tone of the adventure. Hints of dirt and an ocean breeze hitting your nose totally sell the world of Pandora. It's an incredible application of themed smells, and that effect is a valuable part of what makes Flight of Passage among Disney's best work ever. Disney has a way of convincing your senses you're in a world of fantasy. It's a trick that serves an attraction's theming, and it's a trick that goes beyond the walls of your favorite dark ride. Themed scents can build atmosphere in savvy ways around the park. Stepping outside of rides, theme parks are saturated with a wide variety of scents. There's no one smell that captures what a theme park smells like. It's a combination of many scents, like the smell of buttery popcorn making your mouth water, or the distinct smell of sunscreen in a crowd, or something more nuanced like the smell of grease on an old classic roller coaster lift hill, or the exclusive scents enjoyed in marquee attractions like we talked about. The fact of the matter is, theme parks are painted with a collage of smells. They color the air just like a vibrant sunset colors the sky. Sensational smells sprinkle some magic on the wonder of theme parks. Smells can influence our mood as guests, and it starts pretty much from the moment you walk through the front gate. Take Main Street USA for example. It's well known and quite frankly notorious at this point how Disney uses smells as a marketing strategy. There's no more pungent example of this ploy than on Main Street USA, right as guests enter the park or make their way toward the exit. Disney amplifies the satisfying smells of fresh confectionaries, treats, and refreshments, hoping to whet your appetite and get guests to walk through the shops and buy something tasty. These atmospheric scents, when connected with the joy of theme parks, are quite spectacular. Those scents are all by design and on purpose, but there are countless coincidental scents too, adding to the character and unique qualities of a park. So let's talk about the scent of the Pirates of the Caribbean water. It has a nice damp quality that leaves you wanting more. A lot of the smell is probably a musty building, but also the chemical bromine, which is used in the water to keep it clean. So that's why it doesn't smell like your local chlorinated pool. There are plenty of other coincidental scents, like the smell of the park's train passing by. These aren't necessarily themed scents, but they add up to build atmosphere, whether by design or by coincidence. For me, I distinctly remember the old Confrontation ride at Universal Studios Florida smelling prominently of natural gas, likely from the fire effects in the show building, so not exactly by design. They pumped in an artificial banana breath scent too for the Mighty Kong, but every time I smell natural gas, I think of Confrontation to this day. It's yet another example of the power of smell. There's also the smell of fog at certain haunt events like Universal's Halloween Horror Nights. Fans have grown to love that scent, a scent that's really a byproduct of a visual effect, but now it's a cult classic. And there's the oddly satisfying smell of fireworks smoke after a fantastic nighttime spectacular. But this smell here, it's not a cult classic. Anyway, these scents, whether by design or whether they grow on us, are an integral part of the time we spend at theme parks. Maybe they just mask the scent of large, sweaty crowds on hot theme park days, or maybe they help us escape reality to a place we all love. No matter how or why, what is important is the impact smells have on the sentimental side of theme parks. Nostalgic and new. Call it sentimental or sensational. Either way, smells are essential to theme parks. I'm sorry, I've been holding back on the puns. Sorry if those were too on the nose. Special thanks to those who have reported on this topic, and a special thanks to all the Storybook Amusement patrons. Shout out to the producer credits, Parallel Disney, and Nick E. Join today at patreon.com/storybookamusement for early access and other perks. Support the channel and grab some theme park inspired hats and tees at storybookamusement.com. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing if you'd like to see more. Thanks everyone for watching.